Well, good afternoon. Another nice, bright, sunny California afternoon here. What I have here next to me is a few quarters. Been digging for quarters. Digging for quarters sometimes pays off. I know some people don't really like digging for quarters, but unfortunately, a lot of us do need to dig for quarters in order to do some of this stuff for building of our electric cars. You can see behind me on the house the solar panels. We are a solar-powered home. We do have more panels to go up later. But what I wanted to show you is a fellow EVer up in Oregon had to abandon a project and took most everything apart and was trying to sell it off, and unfortunately wasn't able to get exactly what he wanted, but I think he had it fairly priced and got a good bite, and we worked out a good deal. And what I ended up getting is something that I've been hoping to do. Is got myself another Synchra controller. This one's probably a little bit newer than mine that I have, but probably not by much. This was their model of Synchra controller after they went out of beta and went public. This one still has the smaller fan here, but this one could be upgraded easily to a larger fan if they wanted to increase the amount of power that they're going to use with this. This one is 156 volts. It'll actually do up to 190 volts and 900 amps. They don't say that. Mainly with this one, the fan's a little bit small, but it will still do 156 volts, 750 amps, no problem. The other nice thing about this controller, it's like 7.5 pounds. It's like, you can see my hand size on this thing. It's not a very large unit. It's got very robust parts in here. Half of it's heatsink, the other half is components. It is an IGBT controller. It's got all kinds of safety features in this thing, and during beta testing and during all their production runs, not a single one has failed. We run them hot, we've run them cold, we've run them in the ground, high voltage, low voltage, high amp, low amp, a lot of stop and go. These things just are bulletproof. But anyway, I got me another one. At a really good price, and as soon as I have a chance to do a little bit of write-up, I'm going to do the write-up on on how to set these things up as a charger. So you can use these, any DC source can be used, and this is also a charger, so you don't need to have your heavy, bulky Elcon chargers. This particular Elcon charger that I got with my quarter finding expedition is only a 1500. It's also, from what I can see on here, this one's actually a lead acid charger, and the gentleman that I got this stuff from, his car was originally a lead acid build, so hence the lead acid charger. But since I'm here in the reasonable local area of Elcon, I think I can have them fix that for me, and then I can put it up for sale. Like a 120 volt system basically, and it's a good charger. It'll be up for a reasonable price. Since I don't need the charger, I'm not gonna keep it. The The other nice thing here was, or interesting thing, is he took a valve body out of a modern car and just unbolted that sucker. Still dirty. Don't even know what this thing came off of. But it's got the throttle body. He did a little bit of welding of a tab on here, and has a throttle positioning sensor to use with the Synchra motor controller. With something like this, I'd probably hide it out of the way so nobody can see this thing. Or polish this puppy up really nice and stick it right out in the open. But anyway, he's even got it labeled 5-volt signal and ground. Oh yeah, it's a Ford. So we have that. We also had another one. Another TPS unit, and this one's disconnected from anything, and so it's just a little piece here, and so we could make something, lever or something, figure out how to mount this thing and hook some kind of a cable lever to this thing to make it work. So that's a possibility. So those are a couple little dimes that came along with this little project. We got the kilovac contactor, a couple little cables, fuse, 400 amp fuse. I'm not particularly fond of these types of fuses, but it will do. Probably use it to fuse a couple different parts and things like that. The plastic base in it's kind of chewed up, so I might have to make another base. So that was nice. Got a couple extra tinned lugs for the 2-aught size. So that's a nice thing to have. 7 extra lugs. And the other thing I got is a very well built and machined adapter plate that was used in a 1976 BMW 2002. This one was used without a clutch. It was just a direct connect, but it was very well machined and built. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make use of this or not. I'm not sure if it can have a clutch put in it or not. But it is designed and it is set up specifically for my nice little 9-inch motor that I picked up. This looks like a Heister forklift motor. It does have an internal fan. It has 8 mounting bolt holes. It's got a very nice shaft on it. And nice set of brushes and brush holders, very stout, very strong. This particular motor was refurbished by Jim Husted up in Oregon, and as we all know, or some of us know, that Jim Husted is a master at motor building and rebuilding, and he had his hands on this one here and completely redid this motor. This motor and adapter plate have very few miles on it. It wasn't kept very long, and it wasn't used very long before the project was abandoned. So there are abilities to go out and find an abandoned vehicle or a project that somebody's had and pick up some parts for a pretty good price. For me, what I was wanting was the controller and the batteries. What I got out of this deal was 35 100 amp hour Calb, Sky Energy, lithium iron phosphate batteries. All in very good shape, very good condition. They have all the mounting hardware, including the stacked brass or stacked copper connectors that go in between the batteries. Not necessarily considered the best, but you know, these are actually pretty robust, and for the kind of power we're going to do, probably more than adequate. So we're not going to set out to find the braided copper, though that might not be a bad thing in the future. Also, even got myself a little bottle, or a pretty good sized bottle of no-lock, nail locks, whatever, for reduces galling, seizing, promotes good ground, antioxidant, joint compound. Being such, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be keeping the batteries, connectors, and controller. And we're going to set this up in my little Volkswagen Roadster. I have 35 of these cells, and I need 38, and I'd like to have maybe a couple more. So I'm looking for at least 4 or 5 more of the 100 amp hour brick, the Sky Energy Calbs, for the project. We're just going to keep it a low voltage project using these, because I really am not going to keep the high power batteries that I have. I am going to sell those off. I have a buyer that's going to buy them for far less than what they were new, and he's actually a friend of ours, and so he's going to have a little bit of fun with his car. So I'm going to sell him a 120 volt system dirt cheap, and he's going to like that a lot. I'd like, what would be cool is if Rebirth Auto could connect this motor to one of their adapter plates. I think this motor would be an excellent motor in a Volkswagen. Well, I'm partial to Volkswagens. Actually, this motor would probably be really, really good in a lot of different applications. If I sell the motor, probably going to sell the motor with the adapter plate, because the adapter plate is built around this motor. It gives you a good starting point to make an adapter plate for your vehicle. I think I'll take fair offers for the motor and adapter, and for a little charger over here. Got a few nuts and bolts. I got all my mounting hardware and all that kind of stuff. So if I can get a fair price for that, then my quarter finding expedition has been quite successful. Actually, it's quite successful already, because these are all items that are really good. So just wanted to show you guys what we picked up and what you can do when you go quarter hunting. Treasure hunting. Get that little treasure finder out there, and you just start sweeping around. You'll find something. And so you can have a budget build if you take your time, if you're patient. Still get good quality parts. And now that there's parts out there that are used, or slightly used, or abandoned, including the new lithium batteries, building a car is much more viable, becoming much more viable, having a low cost, not a super long mileage vehicle, mind you. So 100 amp hours of these at 120 volts, 35 miles, 40 miles maybe. Going slow, of course, not fast. 30 miles, 35 miles freeway speed, I would give a reasonable estimate. Far better than what you're going to get with a lead acid batteries. and a whole lot lighter. So I have all my batteries back here. Everything looks really good, and so we're hoping to make some use of this real quick. Hope some of you guys might be able to make use of this. I also have a few other goodies that I'm probably going to get rid of, and I'll let everybody make reasonable offers on it. I prefer not to ship it if I can help it. But I'll get more pictures of the motor and we'll put it all up on the site and show you. Bam, lots of noise. So got my microphone off on the side, so I hope it picked all this up. Oh God, a lot of sun here. Nice sunny California. We just got done a day and a half ago with 1.5 inches of rain, and we got more rain on the way. We'll talk to y'all later, and hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good week. Talk to you then.